there, garden friends. Thanks for stopping by. Just a quick video today about playlist, venomous snakes, and poison ivy, and big plans for this little garden of mine, including a tiny greenhouse in that space right behind me. So stay tuned. So this spot is not much to look at right now, but it is a haven for poison ivy. In fact, this whole side of the backyard is problematic in terms of poison ivy, and I have had lots of it pulled out en masse by other kind souls to get it to a more manageable level, and now I suit up and pull it out myself. I have on one occasion resorted to dabbing on poison ivy specific herbicide on the leaves with a sponge paintbrush so that I wouldn't get any drift onto other plants. And so it's not too bad right now, but I do have to keep on top of it, and this area, I hope, will be the site of my future tiny greenhouse. So I have cardboard down there basically right now just to snuff out any weeds, but I don't think I'm going to do anything about building up the soil. I flip-flop about whether or not to actually try to squeeze some kind of greenhouse in here or use this area to extend this garden bed. You'll also see there's quite a lot of space still remaining in the backyard for squeezing in all sorts of goodies. I'm going to try to be a little judicious about that, but hopefully this back area, which is shaded, will have a nice row of hydrangeas. And on the other side of the fence, I'm thinking some red osier dogwoods that have the bright red stems in winter. I think that would be just a nice little accent, like a second fence, if you will, of vegetation. So I will just walk over this area so you can have a closer look of what I'm talking about. It's fairly level. Obviously I'll have to do a little bit more leveling. A lot of pop-up plants, mostly, I think these are mostly ash trees, saplings, and I will have to get those out. They pop up all over the place, and when I do, I'll be sure to share that with you, because I have a really cool tool for getting out little trees. And over here where Timmy is, hi Timmy, there's a stand of Virginia Sweetspire. I believe this is still the Virginia Sweetspire, which has been much more prolific in years past. And I kind of leave that there, but I really try to cut down on ground cover and keep, you know, a reasonable amount of space around plants, in part because of the air circulation, but also because I live in the Piedmont of North Carolina, and we have copperheads here. You know, they're just around, and I'm not terribly frightened of them, but I don't like to give them places to hide where I may unwittingly stick a hand or a foot. And that's hard to do if you're a gardener, but I'm trying to be a little bit more vigilant about that, at least up around the house. I have never actually encountered a copperhead here in our yard, but my neighbors have had them right next door and anywhere out on the paved walking paths that go through our neighborhood. I've seen them on the pavement, on the walking paths, and on the streets numerous times over the year, particularly as it gets later in the summer and into early fall. So I'm hoping I'll be able to persuade a gentleman who is a snake expert, a local snake expert, a herpetologist, who's actually also, I believe, a PhD candidate at a local university, who has a side gig of going around and getting snakes out of people's yards for them. I don't know if you're on Nextdoor where you live, but if you live in an area where there are copperheads and other critters that are on that margin of just part of the local ecosystem and horror movie level of concern among the local citizens. Every time there's a copperhead sighting, it gets posted, and that's just in my little neighborhood. If you have the surrounding neighborhoods, but and then there's all the people who maybe are new to our area who don't know if they have actually spotted a copperhead, and it's often a juvenile rat snake, which has that kind of patterned skin. When they're young, they turn blacker as they mature. So hopefully I can persuade him, or if he's not available, another local expert on the reptiles of North Carolina to talk with us about copperheads and copperhead lookalikes and how not to worry. I was going to say how to learn to love them. I won't put that much pressure on you. I won't put that much pressure on myself. But at least how to learn to coexist. So I hear the call of the mother wren, perhaps the father wren, the chastising vocalization to tell me to get back in the house. So I'll do that now. But thanks again for stopping by, and I hope to see you again soon. And check out down below for the playlist. I'm going to have a playlist that is specific to the garden and gardening topics, garden interest, called In the Garden. And then I will create other playlists, one called In the Greenhouse, which will obviously have to do with working in a greenhouse, should the greenhouse materialize. But will also be a playlist for more of my peripherally garden-related ramblings and any other kind of ramblings. Who knows what I'll talk about. But the playlist is the best way to decide if that's a video that you want to check out. All right, thanks again. Have a good one.